Hi, thanks for joining our first one ever. We're so excited about it. I'm Denise Rousseau, and I'm the Director of Leisure Travel at Uniglobe Travel Designers. And we are so happy to have our first one with Bob from Azamara, and he's going to take it away now.
Thanks, guys. Let's put it this way. I don't necessarily look the part of sales rep right now. Azamara rep. Usually I'm in my sport coat, my tie, and things like that. But I think times like this, are we're all kind of doing what we have to do. And what I was just telling everybody was my hair is terrible. So I need a haircut like really bad. So we're talking hair here on this webinar. But let me just see one thing just so I can see. Okay, I can stop my video if I need to. Once again, my name is Bob Meisler. I am the SBDM, or Strategic Business Development Manager for Azamara, and I am based in the Chicago area. So we're going to talk about a lot of different things today. And one of the most awesome comments heard this morning was, we need to dream, right? We need to dream. We're also used to traveling, and we're used to, finding that little, fromagerie in Paris and enjoying some of that great cheese, or maybe finding the best gelato in Italy somewhere. These are the things that we need to do. I, in fact, I don't know if you all saw it, but I thought it was adorable. So you know how you can go out to those Japanese, the teppanyaki, hibachi, steak knife things. We love doing that. But a dad actually recreated one of those grills in his kitchen so he could entertain his girls with the power of hibachi and teppanyaki, which I think was pretty cool. But we're actually gonna jump right in. I'm gonna take myself off of video. We'll go back to video towards the end. Hi, Elizabeth. You can just wave. I see you down there. Hello, my friend. We'll do some questions and things towards the end. But again, I have a new router because we needed better internet in the house, being that we're all working out of the house. I do apologize if it does go off. It goes off randomly. If it does, we'll jump right back on. But without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about what is important, and I'm going to stop my video. This is our team, and I'm so proud when I look at this because these are the folks that make it matter. We have Niels Lindstad up in the upper left-hand corner. We have Katie with her red hair, her Irish red hair next to him up there. We have everybody from our team, and we do these Zooms to be able to talk about, getting back into travel and getting back into the, I look at it, guys, as how are we going to come out of the curve? Okay, we already got into the curve. This is the last time that we want to, or last time that we should be leaning back. We should be leaning forward, and we should be saying, how can we come out of the curve? Because I want you to think of a couple of things. You, your neighbor, you're all stir crazy right now. We need to dream. We need to get out of here. So that's what we're doing at Azamara with our unique brand. And I couldn't be more proud of the way that our sisters of company, Royal Celebrity, and Azamara, how we're treading these very, very weird waters. Just to let you know, we right immediately when this started, we put together a program called Cruise with Confidence, which gives you, the cruiser, the ability to cancel up to 48 hours before you sail, to get a future cruise credit through all the way through 2021. And the only thing that I'm going to tell you is this is fluid right now, guys. So if the CDC said a month ago, okay, we're canceling until May, then they come forward sometimes and say, now it's going to be June. We have to go with those guidelines. So communicate with us, communicate with Uniworld, because they are totally going to be able to give you everything that you need in terms of answers. And they communicate with me as well. So I give them the answers, of course, and they're able to get them to you. And I'm so So proud of, Uniglobe and everything that they do for us. And I apologize, I get my Uni's world messed up after a while, Elizabeth, so I apologize for throwing that out. I'm still like on 2 weeks ago. So reach out to Uniglobe, of course. Now, let's move on. So a lot of good things happening in the future. Think 2021. That's where people are focusing on. They're focusing on next year, what are we going to be doing? How are we going to travel? Where do we want to go travel? Where do we feel confident traveling? And that's where we really want your mind process to be right now, is thinking about, where am I going to be in the future? Is it going to be Greece? Is it going to be the Baltics? We're going to be back out there, and with our unique ships, we're going to be back in capacity. So think about 2021 and what can we do to help you, because 2021 sales are definitely up, which is so good to see. So this is our special offer, 50% off second guest, always included, of course, all of your beverages, gratuities, Amazing evenings, and more. It's on special voyages through 2021, but take a look at this, because if you're really thinking ahead right now, thinking ahead to 2021, when everybody is going to want to be getting out, this is a great place to start. I do want to start with a story, though, if you don't mind. I'd like to start with a story, and it's a good news story, because we always try to find those silver linings wherever we can during times like this. So the Azamara Pursuit was out at sea, and what was supposed to be a not relatively quick voyage, but it was going from Buenos Aires to Lima, Peru. And everybody got on. Well, everything hit around the time that we were around Chile, and ships were having to go back home. So we, of course, our first thing that we think about is, how are we going to get our guests back home safely? How are we going to get our crew home? A lot of people don't think of that. We have over 400 crew members on board. How are we going to get them home? But the Pursuit was at the helm was Captain Carl, one of my very good friends. Captain Richard from Poland was on as our hotel director, and they led everybody for an additional 17 days or something, because no country were able to let them in. They were able to venture up the coast, couldn't stop, but we would still take on fuel and provisions, of course. We were able to make an appointment to go through the Panama Canal, and then, of course, make it to Miami, where we were able to get our guest off the ship and home, and working with the crews everywhere. Captain Carl became an instant hit, because it was flawless. It was a flawless adventure, but it really comes down to how genuine and therapeutic and the sense of happiness was. Now, let's face it, guys. If we had an extra 17 days on a cruise, I think we'd like it too, pretty much. Thinking about eating and drinking and enjoying the entertainment and stuff. But they were not sick. Lots of hard work, lots of encouragement. They were able to get people back. They chartered flights. It was a good news story during a time of not so many good news stories. So I really love that story. Hey, I wanted to see, is there a way, and I'm trying to find it. There it is. I wanted to see if I could start my video again. There I am. Hello. Everybody's hearing me, I assume, okay, correct? Okay, good. Thanks, Elizabeth. And will you forgive me with the Uniglobe thing? Will you forgive me this time? Okay, good. Thanks. It's so funny, because I called my sister last Monday and wished her a happy birthday, and she was like, Bob, it's not until May. It's like things. This is who we are as a company. This is what I want everybody to take away. Who's Azamara? How do you differentiate? This is it. Longer stays, more overnights, night touring. This is who we are. We stay longer in port than any other cruise line. Now, I want to preface something. We talked about this ahead of time. I am very much friendly with all the other reps out there. We are in this together. We're in the coronavirus fight together as well, because we all want to see each other succeed. The industry must succeed. When I read stuff in the papers and in the news saying cruising this, cruising like that, it's like, no, 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 no. So we're all in this together, but I bring this up as just kind of a benchmark, showing how much longer we stay in port. People are going to want more port time. They're going to want to get off the ship, go explore, see these places. Number of late nights or overnights in 2019 was 49%, compared to 37% our next cruisers on there. And I've got another little known nugget that at least just, I think just between you and me, people are going to like small ships. People are going to like small cruising, intimate cruising, slow cruising. We have on our ships 690 passengers. They're going to want that intimate sailing feel. So I do believe that's going to be something very important. We travel all over the world, all 7 continents. This picture makes me so happy because when I think of Venice, they say you can see the dolphins swimming in the canals now. The dolphins swimming in the canals. It's just, maybe this was a wake-up call for us. I don't know. Pretty nasty one, but still. These are our 3 ships, the Azamara Journey, the Pursuit, and the Quest. They're all identical, 690 passengers each, have every single amenity you could ever ask for, all under one roof: dining, entertainment, accommodations, you name it, we have it. This is an important slide, though. Our inclusive amenities, this is what really makes us Azamara. We have those complimentary Oz Amazing evenings, which we'll discuss shortly, but gratuities included the entire time. Spirits, international beers, wines, coffees, teas, bottled water, all of this all day long. So not just at meal times, but all day long. Self-service laundry, shuttle service to and from port community, concierge service when needed or available. Concierge service is available all the time, but then even suite guests get more, from butler service to different types of concessions as well. So we are very inclusive. So we kind of like that as, it's the value proposition. You look at the cost of the cruise, which we try to streamline to make it very much like within, company guidelines or industry guidelines, but then it's chock full of variety. I'm a little weirded out right now because my picture is actually just below Captain Carl, and it looks like I'm on the Brady Bunch. Da, 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 da. Here's a story about a man named Grady. Okay, so that was that. I hope you like that. So this is who we are. Elizabeth, I think you will nod and agree with me if this is our lifeblood. These are our crew are the people who make all of this happen. And it's called being genuine. That's what it is. I'm friends with so many of these folks, and it's just, it's something you can't find anywhere else. That Azamara fist bump, we've been doing this for years to get rid of or lower the chance of getting germs and things like that. And I'm sorry because my nose seems to be running, guys, but it's a genuine thing. Our crew, that's what people talk about when they come home. Oz Amazing Evenings are the next thing that just people absolutely adore. These are bespoke events. We do it in each port that we visit. We'll do it once, and it's our way of introducing you, the cruiser, to the local culture through music and dance and the arts. So for instance, this photo is in Koper, Slovenia. This is Tito Square, which is about 2 blocks, 5-minute walk from where we dock. And we bring in Europe's #1 a cappella band. In St. Petersburg, Russia, we take all of our guests for a private performance by the St. Petersburg Symphony Orchestra, private. And we also dock right downtown, which is nice too, because of the size of our ship. So multiple benefits. Another place that I like docking in is in Bordeaux, France, because we actually go further than the river cruise lines, and we are more like downtown. So it's always fun to be able to have those bragging rights and say, here, we're a bigger ship, but we're able to be closer to the city center. We also have our very famous white nights. I've been known to get a little crazy at these. These are fun. It's dancing. It's under the stars. Last one I did with my family. If you go to my Facebook page, which is Azamara Bob Meisler, you'll see my family in front of Amalfi and just having a wonderful time at a white night. Great food. But the entertainment, the dancing, the singing, it's called White Night. We try to wear as much white as possible. Here are just some shots of the interior. Very comfortable accommodations, extremely comfortable, both our suites and non-suites. As mentioned, this dining options, the Mosaic Cafe is in the upper left corner. That's going, and the upper right, that's going to be your high tea or your destination for you're on the run, you want a coffee or a little pastry. The living room down below, complimentary tapas each night. It's my favorite place on the ship. Dining is truly amazing. Numerous options, everything from casual to elegant. So I always dream about getting on board. And listen, I'm a guy, I'm planning my next meal. I'm sorry. It's perpetual planning of the next meal. And I get on and it's kind of like, okay, what am I going to do today? So we'll go to the patio for lunch. I really like the lamb brochette that they have there. And then let's go to, we'll get some breakfast in the morning. We'll go to Windows Cafe, which is our buffet. But then that night, I'm really in the mood for Chateaubriand. So we're going to go up to Prime Sea and we're going to have a Chateaubriand with a gorgonzola souffle, etc., etc. So dining for absolutely everybody, from casual to elegant. You do not have to get all dressed up on Azamara. You don't need the suit and tie. You know, we recommend business casual, country club casual for the more upscale restaurants, but please, we want you to be comfortable. So that kind of, and we have nightly entertainment, which is wonderful as well. Live on stage in our cabaret theater. Now I wanted to get into, because it looks like it's about just after quarter after, I wanted to get into some ideas. I just like ideas. Let's spread some ideas and thoughts for 2021. What could we do 2022? So when I take a look at things, I think Spain is so unbelievably hot right now and so popular. And Spain is always a great option. When I look at this itinerary, I think of places like Valencia. The new meets the old in Valencia. If you think of Granada, you think of going up to the mosque, the Alhambra, etc. Going to Sevilla to see those lemon trees and the Moorish influence and things. Or think outside of the box and think the Baltic and St. Pete. Some of you have done this, some of you not. But this, for instance, is a 12-night voyage. It has 1 late night and 5 overnights. 5 overnights. And it's Copenhagen to Stockholm. So one of my favorite towns on this, I know it sounds really interesting, is Warnemünde, down the lowest part, but it's right on the Baltic in northern Germany. Charming little northern German town. Amazing, even though they're not known for pretzels in the north, they have amazing pretzels, but it's beer. It's really, really good beer in that area. St. Petersburg, Tallinn, etc. You can't beat those locations. Now, I'm doing this for fun because, Elizabeth, I think you should do this entire thing. I think you're 69 nights, okay? So let's do the entire thing. Party, right? I'm actually going to take myself off of video for a sec because my nose is running. So hold on one sec. Stop video. Okay. So now look at this voyage. It's huge. Now, we're not telling you you have to take this entire voyage. Now it's Miami, Miami. We're not saying, oh, you have to take this entire thing. But what we're saying is we have 4 different voyages that make up this 69 nights. There are going to be a lot of people who will go ahead and do the full thing. We just had somebody that did our, what did they do? Their 100th cruise? No, more. But it's amazing. So maybe you want to pick. I'll do Miami to Lima, and I'll go down to Lima, and I'll do an excursion with Azamara to go up and see Machu Picchu with Culture Peru and take in that. Or maybe I'll do the Lima to San Antonio, Chile, and do pisco sours, which you can drink, of course, yum. Or maybe San Antonio, Santiago over to Buenos Aires, or maybe Buenos Aires up to Miami. You can choose between those 4 voyages. This is an absolute amazing opportunity. Now, I had done Northwest, so I did Peru and things, but I had no idea what I was getting into in the Southeast, in Uruguay and Brazil, etc. Just the architecture. This is in Montevideo of the Teatro Solis. This is what we use for our Amazing Evening. This is just going back just to show some Africa, just because I think these pictures I like pictures of people. Now, this is a bunch of us in South Africa. We do land programs at Azamara. We team up with partners like Mikado Safaris, like the Orient Express, like Culture Peru, like Abercrombie and Kent, Perry Golf, etc. The best of the best. So if Africa was on your list, we could get you to Africa in many different ways. We took these photos just outside of Cape Town in the Winelands, which was remarkable. This was up at Kruger National Park at Kapama River Lodge. These are all actual photos. They didn't do anything like, hey, Clark, cue the deer runs across. These are all real shots. My favorite is the one I took up in the upper left of the cub, the lion cub, and just happened to get within 5-10 feet. So that's that. And of course, just the relaxation when you do something with Mikado, or maybe going up to Victoria Falls. Again, another thing that you can do where you have high tea at the Victoria, and then you take a helicopter ride over Victoria Falls. And this was taking the train along Victoria Falls as well. So we had a trip to remember. So that, now we're going west, but let's go back to that South America is an option. And the reason I bring this up now is because I had to show you more personal photos. We're all dreaming, right? So this makes me dream. It makes me very happy. So taking a map, this was in Montevideo, Uruguay, this first picture. So I'm in, we're docked, and the captain comes and gets me, and he's like, Bob, you like meat. You're from Chicago. You need to go check out the gaucho stalls of the meat. And he's like, there's one literally 5 minutes from here across the street. Well, I didn't need directions because I just followed my nose and followed the smoke. And I walked into this market, and it was about 10 of these restaurants that you just pull up a seat, you tell them what kind of meat you want, what kind of beer you want, and they throw it on the grill right in front of you and cook up some amazing, amazing meat. The meat up in the upper left-hand corner was a short rib, so just amazing. In Uruguay, I had a chance to do one of our shore excursions that we do on Azamara, and this was reasonably priced, I think, at $129. But we went out into the country. We did a wine tasting, but after the wine tasting, we were actually able to blend our own wine to bring home. Cheeses, meats, olives, etc. So we learned the process, and then we were like science geeks at our table, filling up beakers and mixing and things, and then we came home with our own bottle of wine. And there was my bottle. And I didn't drink it all. That was from a previous glass, but I did bring it home. We had it for Thanksgiving or for Christmas. So wonderful place. Places you don't think of. This is outside of Sao Paulo. This is town of Santos, and Santos was where the soccer legend Pele was born, and has sweeping views, a great coffee factory to be able to learn how to make the coffee and the grinds. We all brought home coffee. And then my favorite guy after I departed Santos was Mr. Rocco Biletti. And he was from Italy, but he's a character. He lives in Brazil, in Sao Paulo, and he spends his time not only being a tour guide, but he also goes up into the indigenous, I can't even say it. You know what I mean, and help with the locals. Why I'm drawing a blank, I can't believe it, but he helps people in need. Let's just put it that way. And on the right, that's fried yuca and Brazilian pastel, which was great. Now, we do have a couple of other things that I wanted to mention because we still have a couple of minutes before questions. But a couple of other thoughts, and again, I'm always thinking out of the box. So in 2021, we have a great October 16th voyage on the Pursuit. It's Athens. It's 11 nights. This is going to include 3 stops in Turkey, which really makes me happy. You get to see Istanbul, you get to see Ephesus, and you get to see one of my favorite towns, Marmaris, Turkey. And Marmaris is home to the white tiger milk, where it's a clear liqueur. And as soon as they pour water in, it turns milky white, and it's very strong. But you still get to see Santorini. You still get to see Mykonos. You still get to see Rhodes. So this is what I consider a very perfect itinerary. We also offer a 9-night Amalfi and Dalmatian. So maybe you want to do something more Adriatic. So this is going to be out of Venice into Rome, October 19th. So you're doing Venice and Koper, Slovenia, Opacha, Šibenik, Dubrovnik, Kotor, Montenegro, my favorite port, and my daughter's favorite ports. And then over to Taormina, and then to Sorrento, and then to Rome. Now, right now, you do have the September 5th, 2020 going, the 7-night Adriatic and Greece voyage. Now, just kind of letting everybody know, just being honest with you, and here's your map, that nobody has a crystal ball, unfortunately. We just don't know. We just don't know what's going to happen here. So I'm actually going to start my video again. We just don't know what's going to happen, and it's a month turns into a month, turns into a month, turns into another month. So we're just not sure what's going to happen in the long run. But yeah, that is something that right now is still happening. But of course, we're looking 2021, saying maybe there's some other options we have out there as well. South America, South Africa, Europe, etc. So what I wanted to do right now, if you don't mind, is I wanted to go ahead. I wanted to bring on whoever from Uniglobe, whoever wants to jump on. I would love to have you jump on, and we can take some questions, maybe talk about a couple itineraries, whatever you'd like to do. I am here. There's Denise. Hi there.
Thank you. I saw there is a hand raised. I'm gonna lower it. If you want to raise it again, you can. So there's a chat, a Q&A, or you can like raise your hand and we can let you, open your mic up so you can talk and ask a question. So if anyone attending wants to ask, there's a couple of ways to do it, and I'm kind of monitoring all of those. But if Denise or Elizabeth maybe want to talk about like the President's Cruise we've done in the past, I think now's a good opportunity for that. And I know Elizabeth has been on Azamara a few times, so maybe she can speak to her experience. And
Sure. So this would be our fourth year, I think, doing the President's Cruise. So I like Azamara. It's my favorite cruise line because it's unpretentious, but you receive just luxury service and a luxurious experience. The food is outstanding. It's the attention to details, I think, that really makes a difference. So for example, like Bob mentioned, you go to a port, there's just a complimentary shuttle. So they're going to drop you off in the center of town. If it's a smaller port, maybe there aren't a number of excursions that are available. But they just make it really easy. And as soon as you walk on the ship, they say welcome home and hand you a glass of champagne. And it's just that kind of experience where it's unpretentious, but you're also in these amazing ports and you're seeing the world. I've been to so many places that I would have never even known existed had it not been for my experience, and also being able to stay in port longer. I was in Bordeaux last year and we were there for, I think, 2.5 days. And just to be able to, we scheduled some tours, but also to be able to just get off the ship at our leisure. We actually set up our own wine tasting at a wine bar that was pretty close to the ship, maybe like 10 minutes away. But it's just those kind of things. It's the accessibility, the ease of it all. You don't feel like you're on top of people. We were able to get sun if we wanted that, and on the deck, and you weren't fighting over deck chairs, which is typically what happens on bigger ships. But Azamara is just the way to go, and I'm looking forward to cruising with them again. I wanted to mention the actually Ozamazing night that Bob highlighted was one that I actually participated in. So the group was similar to Pentatonics here in the U.S. and it was just an incredible experience. They had drinks and hors d'oeuvres before their presentation happened. But Azamara, they just know how to take care of people, and it's just a first-class experience all around the board.
Awesome. Music to my ears.
We do have a question. They asked, even under the best circumstances with their new normal, do any of you know of the extra precautions that will be taken? Will the new normal be masks? What kind of social distancing will be feasible? I know it might be a little bit early for some to really determine what that will be and what that would look like, but I didn't know if anyone here had any insights on that.
I'll chime in. It's a really good question. And it's something that I think we're going to start to, I think we're not there yet, because I know that cruise lines, and I'll speak just from a cruise line standpoint, not airlines, anything like that, but I think, we're in this step right now where we've got two very important jobs as a whole in the cruise industry, and that is, number one, getting our guests home safe and sound. And I did see, I think the last ship with guests on it just got into port yesterday or the day before. I'm not sure what line it was. And then the next goal after that is how do we humanely get the cruise home, because a lot of times the crews just don't live in Miami or live here or there, to get them safely home to their home countries. So I think right now we're going to see this kind of broken down into stages, where we're in this stage right now. But I guarantee you they're already thinking ahead. It's just not on my level right now that I haven't been hearing anything, but I would anticipate, for better or for worse, that just like with 9/11, some things are going to change, whether it be like we had to endure. Remember going to the airport for the first time with your baggie 311 rule and going through all of that? It became second nature after a while, and it became just the normal. So I think we're going to have a bunch of new normals that at first there might be a little, but we'll get used to them. But certainly from my perspective, I've not been privy to anything yet.
And cruise lines, I mean, just in my experience, like having hand sanitizer stations, like going into the restaurants, and having that being mandatory, like online for a buffet. I know we've been hearing that masks at the airport may be a new normal. So like, while that image may seem weird, to be a new norm, to be in every day, we might be seeing that, as far as whether like cruise lines may be implementing masks in shared spaces. I mean, I think we're going to get a lot of new information over the next couple of months. And, you know, we'll just see the safest, and most, what's the word I'm looking for? Like cleanest and most sanitized way to be on a cruise ship and still enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah, we at Azamara, we started that whole fist bump thing. So when you go to your muster drill, when you get on board, your captain will advise right away, you're going to see people, the captains included, everybody is doing this with each other because we want to lower the risk of any sort of illnesses. And that might even change. We might not even go to any touching whatsoever, but you just brought up a very good point. Hand sanitizers are everywhere before and after you get on the ship. They're in front of every restaurant, every bar, everywhere. And I know it's the old cliche, and I know 20 years from now, you know, kids in school are going to be taught, wash your hands, right? That's going to be the big deal, wash your hands. So really good points. It's just, I wish there was more to share right now. But I can tell you from like our standpoint as a company, I know others too, these ships are sterilized beyond sterilized beyond sterilized and will continue to be. Any other questions?
Someone asked, are the shore trips a separate cost?
Yes, very good question. So the Oz Amazing Evening is included, but the shore excursions are not included, and we offer a bunch of different types. So maybe it's a $49 bus tour of a city, or maybe it's a $79 culinary class, all the way up to maybe an overnight adventure or something that would cost you a little bit more. But yes, those would be of cost.
And then I was just going to say, like the higher price options are really customized. So one of the excursions that we did, I think it was in Montenegro, the Michelin star chef Colin went with us to the market. We purchased like a number of different items, had lunch, and then we went to a winery, and we had the sommelier with us who actually selected wines that we would have with dinner, and then we had a 7-course meal. So to me, there were only 10 of us on that excursion, but it was just an incredible once-in-a-lifetime experience that we're still talking about to this day.
And kind of a little background, I wanted to give you a background on that too, of kind of like, why do we charge? And it's because our guests are very experiential. They're not into one size fits all. They want to be off the ship first thing in the morning, back on the ship later in the evening, and they want to be exploring along the way. So we're not just going to give them a, hey, here's a historical tour of the island or the castle. This is going to be very specific. Here's a lunch at a horse farm in Slovenia where you get to have lunch with the country, make food with the grandma, and then you're going to learn about Liebenzener horses. So very specific things, down to really just basic things like a simple bus tour around Valencia. So something for every price point.
And then, Bob, there was a question about Alaska 2021. Someone wanted to know if that's going to be a part of the itineraries.
We no, and we made the decision last year. It was a good year for us in 19, and you know, as of right now, no, there's no talk about it. We didn't do it this year. It was a great product for it, but we like to be in port when there's not a lot of people in port and other cruise ships. So we saw Alaska as being something where we'd be alongside X amount of ships and the towns like Ketchikan and we're just overrun. So it's something we're reviewing, but I'm not sure for when. But as of right now, no. But stay tuned in this world of everything goes. You just never know what could happen. But as of now, no.
I don't see any other questions coming in. But yeah, I do want to encourage, if anyone does have any other questions or concerns, to reach out to us, stay connected with us. I mean, we mentioned we don't know what the new normal is going to be or what the safety protocols are going to be exactly, but we will eventually. So if you're wanting to travel and you're a little bit nervous about that, I mean, we stay updated with all of our vendors and new policies and all of that. And we can advise you on travel insurance. And I mean, that's part of our value. That's what we do. We're your partner, we're your advocate, and your safety is obviously our number one concern. So, and any new updates, itineraries in general too. So please stay connected with us. Ask us anything, and we're here, and we appreciate it.
There's one more question. So yes, Azamara is connected with Celebrity and Royal Caribbean Cruise Line. There was one more that just popped up, Bob.
So we are part of that family. Proudly. This was fun. This was fun. This was a good time, and I'm just honored that you know that we could all do this together and get the word out. And we have to come out of that curve, guys. That's what the eye of the prize is, coming out of the curve. Read as many picture books as possible with destinations, Bali, Cairns, Australia, wherever, Machu Picchu, and just soak that in and make those lists, because we're ready for you, and we're going to be ready for you. And the other part though is we also want to be very the word that I'm looking for, very sensitive at this time though, because we don't want to come off as rah, 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 book that trip, get out there now. But at the same time, 2021 is selling, so we just want to put it in the back of our head. And I appreciate everything that Uniglobe does for us. Thank you, ladies. It is an honor to work with you guys. And next time when I come to Columbus, Lindy's is on me.
Okay.
Okay. I also heard of I was watching Food Network. I heard of a really good German place right around Lindy's.
Schmitz.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So, okay, something to think about. We can always dream. But
hey, Bob, I want to say something really quickly. I was on a call yesterday, and I heard that New Zealand and Australia have their cases under control. Have you guys seen a surge in bookings, cruises in that part of the world yet?
For 2021, I wouldn't call it a surge right now, but definitely bookings.
Okay.
Definitely bookings. Yeah. And we were talking about it, and we're anticipating that Australia and New Zealand is going to be somewhere that people are going to be very comfortable cruising.
Exactly. To. Absolutely. I think so too.
For good reason too. And then for anybody who might still be concerned about on the ships, I assume we're going to go to something where maybe they're going to take a temperature check before you get on, something. We're going to have to see on that. But I can tell you right now that the onboard experience, the crew training, everything, these ships are in remarkable shape. But Australia, New Zealand, really good choice, excellent choice. In fact, so maybe let's do another one of these here in a couple of weeks and talk about Australia and New Zealand.
I think we should. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's one to think about. Now I know it's out of the ordinary, but there's one to think about, and it's Western Australia. So it's Perth, and it's a bunch of these other cities, and you do go to Bali on that as well, which is nice. Oh, there's so many places. Let's go. So, thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thanks everyone for joining. And like I said, stay connected. There will be more of these. Our next one is Friday with Jamaica Tourism Board. on
Nice.
a couple next week. So check our Facebook page and yeah, hope to.
Okay, so
Thanks.
that's our segue. We got to sing. One love, one mind. Let's get together and be all right, guys. All right, ladies, have a good one. Thanks so much for having me. We're honored to work with you.
Thanks,
Thank
Bob.
you.
Bye.
Bye.